Okay, students, this tutorial is going to be on how to complete Lab 3 from week 4. What you need to do is you need to make sure that you go to our classroom, go to classwork. Everything is organized by week, and we're going to go down to week 4, click on Lab 3. Here you'll have the instructions. You'll have what it should look like when you're done. You'll have the Microsoft Word document to download that we're going to format. And also here's the picture that we're going to download as well. So make sure you download the Microsoft Word document and make sure you also download the squirrel image, which we went over and over again. So you should know how to do that. We'll take a look here. This is what your flyer should look like when you're done. You'll see that we have to do a little bit of formatting. So let's get to it. All right. You can leave this open if you want to refer back to make sure that it looks right. But I've already downloaded the picture, and I've also downloaded the Microsoft Word document. So the only thing that we need are the instructions, which are here. And you'll see we'll just follow down the list to complete it. So to get started, make sure you have your Microsoft Word document open. Make sure that you've clicked Enable Editing. And this is what you should have. All right. So a little trick that you can use so that you can see the instructions and also your Microsoft Word document is if you hold down Alt on the keyboard and tap Tab, you can toggle back and forth between the two. All right. So that's an easy way so that you're not hunting down here to try to click and have to mess with your mouse. You can just use the keyboard. All right. So number 1 says delete the word below in the sentence below the headline. The headline is simply the first sentence. We're going to look for the word below in the second sentence. You can double click on the word and hit delete on your keyboard to take it out. So you're done with number 1. Number 2 says insert the word valley between the words Greene County. So it also says this is the second to last sentence in the flyer. So here you see the word Greene and County. We're going to insert the word valley. You just type it in there. Make sure you have a space before and after it. We're done with number 2. Number 3 says change the period to an exclamation point in the last line of the text. So down here where it says thank you period, we want to click behind the period so that your insertion point's there. You can hit backspace on your keyboard, and then we're going to change that period to an exclamation point. Number 4 says if requested by instructor, change the phone number to your number. We're not going to do that. You can leave the phone number the same. Number 5, center the headline in the last 2 paragraphs of the flyer. So again, the headline is simply the first sentence. You can either left click in front of it, hold it down and drag to select all of the text, or you can put your cursor in the middle of the sentence and click 3 times and it will select it. All right. Now how you center it, here in the paragraph dialog box, you'll see these options here. And the second one over, if you just hover over it, is center. So we'll click that, and we also need to center the last 2 lines. All right, so we're on number 6. It says select the 3rd, 4th, and 5th paragraphs. And whenever it's talking about paragraphs, it's just talking about sentences. And we're going to add bullet points to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So here's 1, 2, there's 3, 4, and 5. So we want 3, 4, and 5. We're going to select that here in the paragraph dialog box. We'll choose the bullet options. And there you'll see that it will add bullet points. Number 7, we want to change the theme color to red, orange. And how you change the theme color, you want to go to Design, Colors. We're going to go down to red, orange. Doesn't look like it's done anything, but what happens is the color palette that we're able to choose from has changed. All right, so when we go to change the color of a letter or add some type of text effect, you'll have the proper colors to choose from. All right, so number 8, it says change the font and font size of the headline to 48 Franklin point or 48 point Franklin Gothic. So the headline, we're going to select the headline and we're going to change the font size here, which is 11. We're going to change that to 48 and we're going to change the type from Calibri to Franklin Gothic Heavy. All right, the next part, it says we want to change the case of the headline text to uppercase letters. So what we're going to do here in the font dialog box, you'll see a capital A and a lowercase a. We're going to choose the more arrow next to it, and we're going to go down to the third one and choose uppercase. And you see here that it changed it all to uppercase. Then we're going to apply a text effect fill called black text 1 outline background 1 hard shadow. So here in the font dialog box, you'll see this A that's like outlined in blue. That's your text effect. We're going to choose the more button. The fill are these ones that pop up automatically here. And in this first column at the bottom, if you just hover over it, it'll tell you what it is. So this is the one we want. Black text color 1, outline, hard shadow. So we'll click that. And then what we want to do is we want to change the font color of the headline to dark red at accent 6. So here's where the theme colors come into play. So if I go all the way over into the last column and I hover over this, that's dark red accent 6. We're going to change it to that. Number 9 says change the font size of the sentence below the headline, the bulleted list, and the last line of the flyer to 26. So we want to change the font size of everything except for the line above thank you to 26 point font. So we're going to do those, and then also the thank you line, we're going to change that to 26 as well. It says use the mini toolbar to change the font size of the sentence below the bulleted list to 18. So again, you can drag it across, you can triple click, and the mini is once you do that, you'll see this mini toolbar here pop up. So we're going to use this to change the font size here from 11 to 18. Okay, and then it says we want to select the words follow the guidelines in the paragraph below the headline and underline them. So here we have follow the guidelines, and from this point on you can use the mini or you can use the ribbon. I'm going to use the mini. We're going to underline it here. Number 12 says bold the word not in the first bulleted paragraph and change the font color to dark red. So here's the first bullet. We want to bold the word not. And here the last color that we chose was the dark red accent 6. So you don't have to choose the more arrow. Since you already did that, you can just click on the A that's underlined, and you'll see here that it changed the color of the letter for us, or the letters. It says italicize the word all in the second bulleted item. Undo this change and then redo it. So we're going to select the word all. We're going to italicize it. And if you make a mistake, this arrow that's bending backwards is undo, and then it says redo, and you see when you click the redo, it puts the formatting back on the word. All right. Number 14 says switch the last two bulleted paragraphs. Select the never leave food unattended bullet and move it so that it is the second bulleted paragraph. All right, so this one's a little tricky. Some students have problems with it. But what you want to do is you want to highlight, this says never leave food unattended, and you can either drag it across like that, or you can just triple click. And what you want to do is have your cursor close to that first letter. We're going to hold down the left click button on your mouse, and we're going to drag this up until the insertion point is right above the D, and we're going to let it go. And now you see these two have changed places. And sometimes students have a little bit of trouble doing that, but it's easier if you make sure that when you drag it up, that insertion point is in front of wherever you want to put the new sentence. Next, it says bold the text "thank you" in the last line of the flyer. We'll do that first. So I'm going to use the mini here. We're going to bold it. And then it says shade this same paragraph dark red, accent 6, darker 25%. So to shade, up here we're going to use this paint bucket. And we're going to choose the more button. We're going to go to the dark red, but we want to look for 25% darker, which is the next to last one in that column. I'm going to click there, and it says if your words don't automatically change to a lighter color, that you'll need to change them to white. Mine did, so I don't need to do anything. So if yours doesn't, you would just want to highlight, or select those words, come right here to the font color, and you want to choose white right here. All right. But mine did it automatically, so there's nothing I need to do. And yours should as well. All right, we're going to skip 16. It says change the zoom to make sure the entire page is visible in a document, because pretty much mine is right here at 100%. And what we want to do is we want to insert the picture of the squirrel eating the sucker centered on the blank line below the headline. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click below the headline, get my insertion point there. I'm going to go ahead and click center in the paragraph dialog box. Then I'm going to go to insert, pictures, and I save my picture of the squirrel in my picture folder, and I see it here. So I'm going to choose the squirrel. I'm going to go to insert, and it'll put your picture in there. Should be inserted right under the headline. Now here's where it's talking about. Make sure you can see the whole page. So I'm going to zoom, take my zoom to about 80 so that you can see the whole flyer. All right. Next, it says apply the soft edge over picture style to the inserted picture. So here you see picture style dialog box, and we're looking for soft edge oval, which is in the third row in the 6th column here. So I'm going to click that, and you see that it adds that picture style to the picture that we just downloaded. The next thing it says change the spacing before the first bulleted paragraph to 12 point. So we're going to click just anywhere inside that first bullet point. Go here to paragraph. You'll see these up and down arrows, which is line spacing. Choose the more button. We want line spacing options. Spacing before, we're going to change that to 12 and click OK. And the next thing it says is spacing after the last bulleted paragraph to 24. So I'm going to click on the last bulleted paragraph. Same thing, go to line spacing options. And it says after, I'm going to go from 8 to 24. Click OK. It says the entire flyer should fit on a single page. If it flows to 2 pages, resize the picture or decrease the spacing of the paragraphs. So I'm going to go back and make sure that mine's all on 1 page, and it is. And I'll decrease the zoom here just a little bit more so you can see it. So I'm going to take a look at my flyer that I created. And I'm going to look at the example. Looks like it should. Okay, so then what you want to do is you want to go to File, Save As, and you want to choose My Documents, and then you want to save it so that you can upload this into Google Classroom. So that is your tutorial on how to complete Lab 3 from week 4. If you have any questions, rewind the video or come and ask me.